Yeah. Uh, Hello, everyone. Good evening, all of you. Welcome you all to the series on Thursday for Technology, week number 4. In fact, for the last 2 weeks, we are talking about the sampling in audit using Caseware idea. In fact, last 2 weeks, I was talking about Excel. In today's session, we talk about the idea tool. We will try to understand what exactly this idea tool, how relevant it is for the people who are in the finance, especially in audit, more specifically into forensic audits and investigation and for the analysis purpose. Can someone, whoever watching in the YouTube live, could you please put a message whether my voice is clear? Request members, please keep a message in the YouTube whether my voice is clear. Yeah, Subramanian Iyer, sir. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Srividya and Subramania Iyer and all the members. I am just presuming that my voice is going well. My voice is clear for everyone. Without taking much time, let me go into the session. Friends, as you all know, every session I am uploading into the YouTube, into my channel, The Excelism. I request everyone, please subscribe the channel if you are already not subscribed. And also, every session working files also uploaded in the same video. At the bottom description, I have given a cloud Dropbox link. You just click that link, you will get all the working files of the session. This is the Thursday for Technology folder. These were all initial 3 sessions, and we are into the 4th session. Let me open the file of loan data. This is what the sample on which I gonna work. Let me delete all these 3 sheets because these all I have explained in the last session. Let me save this file and close it. Let us try to understand, first of all, what is the idea application. Let me go to the browser, Caseware idea. Whoever already not having any experience, I request you to please go into this. Concentrate for next 10 minutes, very important. Yeah, idea data analysis software is a comprehensive, powerful, and easy to use data analysis solution designed by audit experts with a modern, intuitive, informative interface and advanced analytical functionalities and so on. Basically, this particular Caseware idea product is help you to do lot of analysis on your data. Okay, don't worry, we will go into what exact analysis it does and so on. I also consider this idea tool also as ETL because, as you know, any ETL tool is a extract. It can extract the data from any source, transform. You can do a lot of transformation in the idea tool also, and you can load the data back either in the PDF or Excel or in the CSV format for your own analysis. It acts as an ETL. It also acts as an audit tool because I'm sure you know about the concepts of Benford law. I'm sure you know about the concepts of gap detection. These all are very important in the audit. In Excel, if you want to do these type of activities, you have to start writing the formulas again and again. But in idea, it is a very simple thing. You just need to click couple of buttons. You can get your audit done. Another best part of idea is it is having an audit trail. That means it store everything in the history, what you have done, so that you can store that history into the document. That document can help you whenever you get any questions from the regulators later. These all are the key 3 functionalities or maybe the features. Import data from any source. The superior file conversion capabilities ensure that you can easily import data from PDF, from Excel, CSV, and 50 plus accounting packages that includes QuickBooks, Sage, Xero, and so on. I'm sure there may be APIs whenever you are using QuickBooks, you can connect that API to your idea, then automatically you can get your data, you can import your data into the idea very easily. See, this even supports the Python and many other files. With respect to the data integrity, analyze 100% of your data with confidence, as idea protects source data with read-only access. That means if you are using an ERP, if you are doing some analysis of the data, though you are connecting to the ERP, but you are going to get only the view access. That is nothing but the read-only access. There is no backward edit access. That means you cannot change something in the idea so that impacts into your ERP. In fact, Power Query, Power BI, all these ETLs, data visualization tools does the same. You can connect your ERP, that may be a SAP or any of the ERP. You can do the analysis on the data. If you remove any of the rows, that will not impact into your ERP, but that is only impacting maybe at your Power Query at the front end. An audit trail you can trust. Project overview helps you to stay on top of your audit by graphically representing all the tasks completed during the analysis. You can also take advantage of clear, immutable audit trail for repeatable analysis. Like the log in the computers, how we find it. You are also having a history. Let's say you have taken one file, and on the same file, you created 10 different subfiles. Maybe one file you have taken random sample file, another file you created based on the stratification, another file you created based on some filters. These are all files you can check it out in the graphical format. That is what it is talking about. These all are the very important functionality. Okay, I'm not going much towards this website. It is one of the very important audit tool in the world people uses. Along with the idea, even ACL is also one of the very powerful audit tool. Since idea is having a demo version and you can go and try the idea, and that is user interface is much better compared to the ACL tool. That's the reason we are concentrating more into the idea tool. Okay, without me taking much time, since I already installed the idea, I'm just opening this idea file. Otherwise, you can just go to this website and you can download the idea from the try idea. Okay, I went into my start, and this is what the background idea screen tip it has shown me, and it has opened a window. These days, any ETL tool user interface is same, meaning on the top, you will be having a ribbon menu, having all the features and functions and commands. On the left side, or maybe at the bottom, you are having all the access to the files. On the right side, you are having the properties. I can compare this with Microsoft Power Query Editor, because Power Query Editor does have the same functionality. Example, now let's say name, let's say ID A. I've just taken one because some data is required. So I'm just going into the data from a table or a range in Microsoft Excel. I'm just trying to compare the user interface of idea tool and the Microsoft Excel Power Query. Once I click OK, it is going to take me to the Power Query Editor. Even if you see the Power Query Editor, on the top, you are having a ribbon menu. On the left, you are having all the queries. Whenever you have more than one query, you can just double click it and you can go into that query. Right side, you are having the properties of the query along with the applied steps, because I do the transformation, the steps it record automatically here. In the idea tool, if you observe, it is almost exactly the same user interface. Not only this, even you go to the Alteryx, on the top, you are having the ribbon menu. In the left, you are having all the functionalities and the commands of a specific item or specific field. This is the canvas where you can do the ETL function. That is what the modeling and so on. Okay. Now, if you want to create a new folder, you can just go to create. We call it as a project. You just give the project name and you can just click OK. Now, what I'm going to do, I want to give a proper project called sampling in audit. Right. Now, let me click OK. Once I click it, you can just go here, sampling in audit, all the projects I have created. Audit sampling I have created, sampling in audit I have created. I don't want this. Maybe if you want, you can delete it. Once you delete it, this entire projects got deleted at the backend. Now sampling in audit is at 512 I have taken here. Right? Now let me click OK. That means that project I am selecting. If you are already having some other projects, let's say, for example, when I was talking about the FAFD course, I've created many projects. You probably select that. All the data from that project you can find here, right? In this case, in today's session, let me take the sampling in audit. As of now, there are no files. Hence, there are no files. You're not finding this data tab, analysis tab, and Mac view tab. Nothing is visible. That means every option in all these three tabs are disabled because you're not selected any data. And also, for a file, these properties are for the file, but not for the idea tool. Whenever you select a file, then you can see the data from here. You can see the history of that file from here. You can identify the field statistics from here. You can see control total. I want to observe a specific total. Then you can set the control total and you can see from here. And if you want to keep any specific criteria for the control total, that you can see from here. From the data you have selected, any specific results like a Benford result, like a stratified result, you take anything, those results for the time being will display here. For any file, there are two ways you can get the subfiles. Do you want to only get the result? That result you can find under the results. Otherwise, if you want to create another database, it's going to create another file. If you select only the result, that will display here. Indices is one of the things very important. Yeah, indices is something very important. Normally in Microsoft Excel data, when you take any data, once you sort the data, save it, close it, and open the file, if you want to go to the original order of the data, it is very difficult for us. That means in Microsoft Excel, sorting is changing the ordering of the data. That's the reason I always suggest people, if at all you want to use sort option in the Microsoft Excel, you better create another copy and use the sort option, because once you do the sorting, you are reshuffling the order of the records from one place to the other place, right? But in Idea tool, whenever you do the sorting, it creates the indices. If you want to go directly to a specific sorting, you can directly click a button. Comments is basically for the file. If you want any specific comment, you can add it. These all are the properties. And without taking much of the time, as this is one of the having the same features of a ETL tool, I need to import the data, because in the Idea tool, you cannot create the data. Rather, you can take some original data. From the data in the analysis, you can create many files, but new data you cannot create here. That's the reason I want to import the data. Let me click this. Once I click the import, these all are the sources through which you can get your data. These all are the different formats. AS400 format, Caseware working file, database. That means you can even connect your tally data to your Idea, Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel, ODBC, SAP, and so on. I want to take Microsoft Excel. Let me connect my file. That is nothing but Thursday for Technology, 4th week, loan data, double click. Once you click next, this will identify all the sheet objects of your Microsoft Excel. That means only one worksheet is there. That is what I am looking for. There are two more options it is displaying. First row is field names. Is it correct? Yes. First row is nothing but the headers. It is a good habit for the analysis to have the zeros in the empty numeric cells. By default, it is asking us, otherwise you can check it, right? You can, whatever the column or any item, for example, whenever I select a column or anything, you can just go and check it out. This is a small preview you can identify. You can see whether all the columns has been properly imported or displaying or not. And this is what the loan data. I don't want this one space, so I just kept it as a loan data. This is the name of the file which will display, right? If I click OK, all of the columns, sorry, this entire file will display. Once I click it, all columns you can identify the entire data. Now, left side, you're finding the file called loan data is the name. And also you are finding loan data -loan data. The reason is loan data is my file name and the loan data is my sheet name also. It is also taking the sheet name. If at all you want to rename the file name, just right click and you can just click rename. I don't want loan data -loan data, just click OK. If you expand this file explorer pane, you are finding 5 columns. One is name of the file, how many records are there, whatever the idea tool which I'm using is the demo version. That's the reason maximum it can take 1,000 records. Even if you import a file having 10,000 records, it will only import 1,000 records or 999 records. In this case, since the file itself is having 521 records, it is displaying how many records are there, what is the size of the file in KBs, and what is the modified date, and what is the created date. This is very important because the same date stamp and time stamp you can find in the history, right? You can just keep it here. And these two are generally the columns we are looking for because other columns are not really mandatory for me, right? Wonderful. Now, I have not selected any file now. That's the reason this canvas is almost empty. Let me double click this. Once I double click this, the entire Excel file is now into the idea. Now let me close this Excel Power Query, discard. Since it's a sample file, let me close without saving. Okay. Now I don't want actually any of the unnecessary files so that my performance of idea application will be better. See, all the columns you can find here, including the serial number, account type description, customer number, customer name, limit, and so on. If you want sorting, you can just double click unless like Microsoft Excel, where you need to go to the sort option from the data tab, you need to select which column and so on. You can just double click this. For example, if I want to sort the customer name, then you just double click this column. Automatically that will come in the indices. Once I double click it, yeah, it got sorted. Once I double click back, now Z to A. So A to Z, this is Z to A, this is right. If I want to go back to my original data, no problem. In Excel, it's not possible. However, in Idea, it is possible. You can click no index. This is what your original data order is. Whenever you double click this, again, 2 more indices it has created. Theoretical balance, double click this, outstanding balance, double click, it automatically create all the indices for you. That's the beauty of it. By default, it got selected the data. See, I'm just giving you another 10 minutes, the idea tool, so that you can appreciate how relevant this tool for our day-to-day audit. Then probably, and after 10 minutes, I can start talking about the sampling. Okay, so let me click the history. In the history, you can find all the parameters. Check it out. Loan data imported on 9th February 2023, 5:17. This is what the path from which I imported, and the source is Excel. The sheet name is loan data. Number of records are 5 to 1. I set the first record as a title as true, and this is what the script code. In a history, it has given almost the function, almost the information. When you can use this idea script is nothing but a macro in your Microsoft Excel. Whenever you record a macro in the VBA, automatically it records some Visual Basic code in different lines. This is what exactly it is. Next time, whenever I want to import the same type of file, I can just run the script, automatically it will come. Since that session is not more on understanding the idea application, but on sampling, I'm just only giving you the introduction. After I've taken the loan data, see how beautifully it recorded. I renamed the file from this file name to this file name, and it has given a script for that. And I created the index customer name in the ascending order, right? And I made it customer name in the descending order. Then I made it limit in the ascending order, descending. These all are the steps I have done. That is what the history I'm talking about. If you want, you can just export this history either in the text file or in the Word file or in the PDF format. Okay. Now, let me click data. I can go back. If you observe carefully, when I click history, I am not finding the control total or criteria. Whenever I click data, control totals and criteria are relevant. Okay. So I'm only going to talk about this field statistics. Then we will talk about the sampling in idea tool. Let me click this. Whenever you click field statistics, let me tell you the background of this feature. One of the very important feature of field statistics in idea. Whenever you have any data, it is by just looking into the raw data, you may not get any inferences out of the data. What is the outlier? What is the highest number, what is the lowest number, what is the average number, what is the number, how many number of records above the average, below the average, and so on. In Microsoft Excel, for which you need to do the filtering, or you need to write the sum if function, count if function, average if function, max ifs, min ifs, and so on. But the beauty of idea tool is, once you click the field statistics, it is giving a pop-up message stating that statistics are not available for all fields. Can you tell me for what fields generally statistics we cannot arrive? For the text fields. Do you wish to create the statistics for all fields without statistics? Okay, that's fine. Whatever the fields which are statistics are possible, you please provide. That's what this confirmation message. Once I click OK, it has taken me to field statistics. Let me explain what exactly it is. Numerical, for numeric items, you can have a field statistics. For the characters, it cannot give much analysis for the text. Only it can give how many blanks are there, how many items are there. That's all. And also, wherever, guys, you're finding a blue color number in the idea tool throughout the idea analysis, that means it is linked to the extract. Like in the pivot table, whenever we double click it, how automatically we can drill down the data. In the same way, once I click it, all these 325 files I can find here. That's the meaning of it, right? Whenever I click this particular one, I can easily find out. That means there is a field called INR. Only number of records are 521 that is displaying. As simple as it, right? Numeric fields are these many. Okay. Date fields are only one field called sanction date. Let's try to understand what exactly it is. Whenever I want to analyze the data, let me take the outstanding. I want to take outstanding only. If you want uncheck, you can uncheck everything. You can just keep only outstanding. In the outstanding, let me just drag this little bigger. Total of the outstanding column is 140 crore. And absolute value is 140 crore, meaning if at all any negative values, it will convert into the positive and it's going to be total. Generally, this is very important when you deal with the data of intraday in Indian scenario and the F&O transactions to calculate the turnover, the number of records, how many. Out of this entire data, there are 30 to 33 transactions which are blanks. That means outstanding is zero. I need not to do a lot of analysis out of this data. Sorry, only one item, because not a theoretical balance. I think I'm looking into the theoretical. Let's look into the outstanding. Only one item is blank. This is something fishy. So, or maybe this is something I want to observe what it is. Whenever you click it, that extract is coming. Now let me save it. It's going to ask you the file name, outstanding zero transactions. Now, what will happen? This particular database, it's going to create this particular file, it's going to create under the original file. Once I'm sorry, I think I cannot use backward slash outstanding. zero transactions, right? Once I click OK, see it has created one file. No problem. Go back to your loan data. What is the total of the positives and negative values? Since nothing is there, zero negative values, and how many positive values, how many negative values, are there any data errors? Data errors comes in a situation if you have a text column, sorry, if you have a number column in which there is a text item, then there will be an error. Even in the Power Query, it is same. How many valid transactions are there? What is the average value? What is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? And what are the record number of minimum value? 500th is the record number which is having this value. 71st is the record number which is having this value. Then what is a standard deviation? What is a variance? What is a population? Standard deviation for the population, standard deviation for the variance, what is a skewness, and so on. All these all four generally we don't use in the finance, but more in the statistics. But this is what it is giving. At a glance, you can see it. For the date column, let us see. In fact, it is giving you more analysis. I can just go here. How many valid transactions are there? How many number of records are there? What is the oldest date? What is the latest date? What is the record number of oldest date? Record number of starting date? Most common day, Monday. Okay, this is something if I want to do some analysis, maybe I want to get more samples where the day is Monday. Most common month is June. In January, 66 transactions are there, February 28, March 51, April, and so on. Then if you see, on Sunday also 36 transactions are there, little fishy, because generally banks have work on weekdays. So Sunday ideally should not have any transactions. I can click this, I can get an extract, transactions on Sunday. One file it's going to create, so I can do some analysis on this data, however keeping my original data same. So week-wise analysis and so on. Now let me go back here. What I'm going to do, if you want, you just click this, automatically it's going to ask me, Sharon, where you want to export this data. I want to export this data into my sample folder. Yeah, loan field statistics. Just save it. One Excel file will be opened. Let me open the Excel file. It automatically open if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it has opened. Check it out here. See, serial number, these all are the field statistics. Account number, since it's a text, only two items are there. If you come down, account type description, only two fields are there because two statistics are there. But let's try to see. Yeah, limit is there. All the field statistics are here. Then you can just go here, maybe the interest rate. For every column, it has given the field statistics. How important and relevant this data for me, because before me going into any Excel file or text file and started doing the analysis, I can just import this field statistics and I can read it from start to bottom, and I'm sure I can get more inferences out of the data. Okay, so I'm not going much towards this. Let me close all the files for the time being. Let me open our main file. I found a question. I found there's a question in the YouTube. There's a remark in the YouTube. Voice is not clear. Is it okay now? Earlier. Now I think voice is clear. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay. Now, guys, let us look into the analysis part. In the analysis, though attribute sampling, monetary unit related variables, I'm not covering because it's more advanced statistical way of taking the sampling. For today's session, as I mentioned, different types of sample in the first day of the type of sampling. Let me copy this file and put here. Open this file. I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's open this file, type of sampling. Now, see, random sampling we'll talk about in the idea today. Stratified sampling we'll talk about in the idea today. Systematic sampling we'll talk about in the idea today. Okay, these three samples we'll see. However, my suggestion, download the demo of idea tool. Try to use all these data related functionality. You can append more than one data set, you can modify it, you can remove it. And if you go to the analysis part, you can get the gap detection. For example, if you have 1,000 invoices in Microsoft Excel, if I want to know what are the missing invoices, I have to write the formula using if function. If below cell minus the above cell is equal to 1, then true, otherwise false. Then we'll filter the false. That is nothing but there is some gap. But if you just click a button here, automatically that invoice column, it is going to give all the gaps. And Benford's law, statistics, duplicate keys, summarization. That means you can summarize the data like a pivot table, like a sum if function in Microsoft Excel. And direct pivot table functionality also available here. You can also do the asing, like how we do the grouping in pivot table with respect to the number column. You can even do the stratification. You can also start visualizing the data in the charts. If you have more than one table, you can append the tables one below other. You can compare the tables. That means this is a merge option. You can even join the table, right? So I'm talking about the sampling. Now let us go to the random. Concentrate everyone, very important one. Let me explain about each and every column so that you can understand what exactly the sampling is. Number of records to select. Out of 521, I want to take some 30 samples, right? Random number seed. If you just keep the cursor, you can see a screen tip what exactly it does. Enter the number of samples to extract from the database, 30. Very good. Whenever I keep the cursor random number seed, there is a message. This number is generated automatically. Do not change unless necessary, right? That means it is a small algorithm number based on which it's going to take the random sampling at the backend. So until you have a knowledge about it, you need not to change this, because this is not at all relevant for us to take the sample. It is only for the algorithm, for the idea to generate the numbers. Now you can take one starting number, you can take 521 by default, it has given. This is very important fields, meaning if you say, let's say there is some item you want to intentionally ignore, which is 511th item, then what I can do, I can put, I want only the samples 30 from 1 to 500 transactions. That means you are intentionally ignoring till below 500. Okay, so that's the reason. Let me take till the end. If you want specifically from first 100 transactions, you can still do that. Whenever you click allow duplicate records, you can do that. Otherwise, you can uncheck. Generally, uncheck by default, because there is no meaning of having the same record 2 times in the sample. This is what the little problem in case of rand between function of Microsoft Excel. Whenever we take the sample using a rand between may generate duplicate sometimes. Again, that's the reason we need to, once you give the rand between in one column, then there is a dynamic array function called a unique function. Then you can put a unique function, this entire column of rand between, you are going to generate the unique number of records. Here, just uncheck this, you can automatically get it. Now let me give the file name random sampling. Okay, and also friends, you can see okay is it it's going to create a file. Cancel is self-explanatory. You are going to cancel this action. Help is if you want to read more about this, you can click help. What is this field, sir? This is nothing but once I click OK, all the columns will come into the random file also. If I want only 3-4 columns, you can select by just clicking this. Clear all. I want only 1, 2, 3, 4. These columns are sufficient for my random sampling file. Otherwise, if you want everything, click include. I want everything because this is going to, the same file I'm going to import it and send across to my staff. They should have access to all the columns. So you can import, put every column. Otherwise, you can select whatever the columns you're looking for. Now let me click OK. It is going to give you another file called random sampling. You can observe 30 items. These all are exactly 30 transactions. The another beauty of it is from the data, it's going to give you sample reference record number. That means it is a first one, but in the original data, it is 481 record. Second one in the original data is 27th record, 306th record, 223rd record, and so on. Serial number is by default from the original data it has taken. So 30 rows are there where this is what the serial number, and even if serial number is not there, it is going to give the record number from the original data. Okay, you will not find the duplicate values and so on. If you want, you can just export this, export this data, and you can give it to your staff and they can start doing the analysis. It's a very simple thing using the random sampling, right? Now, if you go to the systematic sampling, I already told you the systematic sampling. Systematic sampling means this method involves selecting every nth number of the population. Meaning, if I put the subsets, if I can take a section as a 10, let's say 100 items are there, 10 is a section. From 1 to 10, it's going to pick up 1. Then 10, 11 to 20, it's going to pick up 1. In fact, we have taken very elaborate examples in Microsoft Excel, how we can do the systematic sampling. For example, if the sample is 100 is required from a population of 1,000, every 10th number would be selected. Systematic sampling can be used to ensure the sample is representative of the entire population. This is what we are going to do here, right? Let me go here, systematic. There are two things here. You can manually select it. For example, how many number of records I want to have a sample? I want 30 records, right? These 30 records I want from starting first record till 520 first record. That means I want 30 samples from first record till 521. That means from the entire population. Selection interval is 1, that means every item can be one selection. Then that means 521 selections are there. So what I'm going to do, let's go to the selection interval. By default, it is 1. I want to take 20. What is the meaning of it? Out of every 20 records, please take at least one sample. Why I'm using a word called at least? Because when you put this as 40 into 20 is 800 records, but we have only 521 records. So it may take sometimes from one section, 2 also, 3 also, 4 also. But minimum it will take 1. Okay, but if you want exactly it has to match, then what you can do, when I know that selection interval is same, 20 records, then you can just click compute, so that it's going to compute how many number of records of samples by considering 20 as a section, it's going to calculate. Compute 27 samples. If you take it, you can represent 20 as a section part for entire database. Okay. Otherwise, if you are okay that 30 are the minimum samples you want to take it, or 40 are the samples, or else let me take 35 are the samples you want to take it. Once you compute, it's going to compute the section interval. Once I click OK, it's going to compute. 7, if you want 35, instead of 20 as a section, you probably take 15 as a section. That's what it is talking about, right? Now, let me take 20. Now, let me compute. I think this is a fair number. 27 are the sample. And what is the file name you are looking for? I'm looking for the file name, systematic sampling, right? Once I click OK, it's going to create a file with 27 records. Each subset is nothing but 20 records from the original data. Check out this. If you go to the end, you can find it. See, 1, 21, 41, it made sure that 20 has a gap, and starting from the first record it has taken 1, 21, 41, and so on. It is making sure that every subset is having at least one sample. Okay, this is what about the systematic sample. Very simple. Now let us go into the stratified sampling. Little work is involved. I request you to please concentrate. It will take another 10 to 15 minutes time for you to understand this concept. Because if you want to apply a stratified sampling in Microsoft Excel, what we have done, first we have made the pivot table. Then we did the stratification in the pivot table using the grouping of number column or grouping of date column. Then we have taken a couple of samples out of it. But here there is no stratification. So first I need to do the stratification. Then from the stratification, I need to tell how many samples I want. You need not to do the stratification separately. See, basically, if you want stratification as an independent activity, you can go to the analysis, click the stratification, you can get the stratified data. But I want to do the sampling along with the stratification, you can just go to the others, click stratified sampling. Now, do you want to apply the stratified sampling for the numeric stratification? Yes, because I want to do the stratification based on the outstanding amount, right? Now, let me continue. Once I click OK, it's going to display all the numeric related columns, right? I want the field totals also the outstanding. So let's go to the outstanding and field to stratify again the outstanding column. Okay. This is not like a Microsoft Excel pivot table grouping of number, because in Microsoft Excel pivot table, if you want to group the number, then standard range it's going to give. It will not give you, for example, like our data analysis, we take 0 to 30, 30 to 60, 60 to 90, 90 to 180, 180 to 365, 365 to 3 years, 3 years and above. This range in the data aging is not the same range, is not the fixed range. You're taking 0 to 30 days where 30 is the gap. 30 to 60 days is 60 is the gap. 60 to 90 days, again 30 is the gap. 90 to 180 days, 90 is the gap. 180 to 365, 180 is the gap. That is not possible in Microsoft Excel. If you want to do that in Microsoft Excel, you need to have in the original data one column, use the if function, get the aging first, then you give the pivot table, then you take that aging into the row label, then you can do the analysis with respect to the value label. However, in idea, this is more powerful. I'll tell you how. Initially, I want to put 10,000 as a bracket, 10,000 as the minimum gap. So by default, it is given lower limit as 0. You just keep your cursor here. Automatically 10,000 came. You can just start dragging till I want to take till 2 lakh, right? I want to take till 2 lakh. But even analyzing these many items gonna be very difficult. So what I'm going to do, I am going to select maybe from this, just remove. I don't want anything. Maybe you can just take till 1 lakh. If you don't want, again, you can remove. I don't want even 1 lakh. I just want to keep it 0. And this one also you can remove. I want to keep the increment 50,000. This looks little okay comparatively. I want till 50,000. Then it automatically it is giving 50,000 as a cap. I want to take till 5 lakh. From the 5 lakh, I want to now increase then 2,50,000 as the range. Then you can start taking 2,50,000 till 20 lakh. Okay, I don't want this. Maybe I want this, remove. Okay, now from 20 lakh, I want to have a gap of 5 lakh. Then I want to do the range. Okay, then you can just go down till maybe since it's 5 lakh till 50 lakh I've taken. From 50 lakh, I want to take 10 lakh as a gap, right? So just keep it here. I want to take 10 lakhs as a gap till 1 crore 50 lakh. That means there are 32 stratum I created till 1 crore 50 lakh. Now, after 10 lakh, let me put 25 lakh, right? It is always good if you know what is the highest number, but it's fine. Then probably I can take from here maybe 2 crores. Sorry, it's going to be 2 crores 25 lakh. That's right. So like, I don't want from here till 3 crores. I'm okay. Let me remove this. From 3 crore, 50 lakhs is the range. Then you can just take till 4 crore. Considering 4 crore is the highest one, if you know that what is the maximum number, you can stop till that point, right? Check it out. How many ranges have taken? But in Microsoft Excel, this type of grouping is not possible. In Microsoft Excel, it's a fixed range. But here you just need to change it wherever you want, and you can drag it and you can get it, right? Again, if you want to filter the data, you can use the criteria and you can do that. I'm not going much deeper, complex part of idea tool, since this is not an idea course. I'm just trying to talk about the sample. So I'm not going this part. Now, you can include the stratum interval so that one column you can find what is a stratum interval. That's always good to know. Then it is going to create two things here. You can create as a result if you want stratification, because stratification is something maybe required for me. Then stratified data on outstanding. I already told you, when you click create result, it's going to show you here. Just with the click of button, you can find this stratification. And also it's going to create a file called stratified data on outstanding. Let me keep my also here stratified. Okay, I think there is a spelling mistake. Stratified data. Okay. Now, once I click OK, then it's going to give me a pop-up message in which all the stratified data will be there, along with how many number of records are there. Now, once I click OK, you can just identify what are the items are there. Check it out. There is a pop-up message, very beautifully displayed. Sharon, you said initially 0. In fact, 0, there are no number of records at all. 0 to 50,000, Mr. Sharon, there are 14 records. How many samples you want? Let me put one sample out of this, one sample out of this, one out of this, one out of this, one. But here, there are 79 records. All right. So I want to have at least 5 samples out of this. I want to have 3 samples out of this. 2 samples, 2 samples, 2 samples. Then these are the higher numbers, 70 lakh, 50,000 to 20 lakh. I want again 2 samples, 2 samples, 2 samples, 2 samples. I want only 1 sample here. I want 1 sample. I want 1. Now you can see this is also 1. Now it is 1 crore and above. I want all the items to be considered as a sample. Now there are no transactions in this range. I want all the 2 samples. I want all the 4 samples. I want all the 4 samples. I want all the 1 sample here. Only 1 transaction is there. Only 1 sample. Only 1 sample, right? Yeah, correct. I want all the 2 samples here. 2 samples. I want all the 3 samples. That means I've taken 56 samples from this data, but I made sure that every range is having at least 1 sample. Towards the higher number, I have taken almost the samples, 100%, because these all are the big numbers. If I can take 100% of these samples, that means I can cover the most of the exposure, considering the materiality. Again, I said, random number feed is not required because that is what system will automatically calculate. Let me give the file name as stratified sample. Yeah, stratified sample. If you want only few columns you want, you can just select whatever the columns you are looking for. Otherwise, you can just click it. All the columns will come. Now, it has created a file. In this file, this is a stratified file. In this file, it has created the sample. And especially when you go to the loan data or when you go to the stratified, when you go to the loan data, you are these all are the subfiles you have. Loan data, outstanding, then you have random sampling, then you have stratified on outstanding, then you have stratified sampling, then you have systematic sampling, then transactions on Sunday. These all are the different files I have created, right? Let me close all the files, close all. Now let us see the stratification here. Once I see the stratification of this file, if you go to the end, along with the stratum number, it has also given start lower value and start higher value. That means it has automatically taken, since I have taken from the outstanding column, let me go to the outstanding, no index. Where is outstanding? Excuse me. Yeah. Now, 1 second. Yeah, this is theoretical balance. 1 second. Yeah, you can just go here. So I've taken the stratum. Stratum, as I mentioned, there are 41 statums I created. Okay, so that I made sure that every subset of data should be covered. Right? What is the lower stratum? 33 means 41st, 41 stratum is nothing but from 4 crore and above. That's the reason it has taken 99999, because I said I stopped my uh, stratification there, ranges till 4 crore. After that, everything above 4 crore, it is one. That means there are two transactions above 4 crore, right? And 33 crore 50 lakh to 40 lakh, right? 3 crore 50 lakh to 4 crore, and so on. There are 41 different statums. Your original data has given a stratification, stratum number, stratum low value, high value, and what is the sample record it has considered. Okay, that is what it has taken. Now, if I just go here, those all are the records it has just taken here. Check it out. How many I say final samples I have taken? It is 56 records. This is what your idea tool and talking about the random sampling, systematic sampling, and stratified sampling. Stratified sampling is a little complex. However, anyway, this video is available in the YouTube. I request you can pause it and you can watch it along with practice. Guys, my sessions are I'm taking very small topic and trying to explaining as slower as possible. If you think somewhere it is faster, however, these all sessions are there in the YouTube. You can just go and start practicing. Okay. Now, only one point. In Microsoft Excel, you can generate the random numbers by using simply a random between function. How in the idea tool I can generate the random number? I can just go to the others, generate the random number, click this, because this may be required sometimes to merge the data of random data with the original data, like in the Power Query, how we do the merge. Generate how many random numbers you want. Generate, I want uh, 12 random numbers from 1 to 100. Then what is a random number seed? That automatically taken care. Result name, random number generator. If you want, include detailed calculations. Allow duplicates. If you want, you can take it. Include detailed calculation in the sense, what is the calculation mathematically it is taking at the backend. Okay, you will understand what exactly that equation and so on in the two different columns. And once I click OK, I'm going to have one file called random samples. This is what, as a result, it has displayed here. N 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, because 12 samples I was looking for. And first sample is nothing but the 68th record. Then second sample is nothing but the 83rd record. Third sample is nothing but the 27th record. When it has taken the calculation, it even considered 0 as a 1. Generally, in the Power Query or any of the databases or programming languages, the index starts always with 0. However, it is having an option to start with 1, but by default, it starts with 0. Even for the random generation calculation, it has taken 0 as the first one, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, because I was looking for 12 samples. Then this is what the calculation it has done, and it's scaled to this. That means these all are the 12 different samples. If you want, you can simply just get into the Excel. This will get open. So random number generator. I just want to keep in the fourth one. Just save it. Right? It's going to open that file. This is what the file it has created. Right? So this is about a random number generator. Let me double click the data. And I always appreciate knowing the latest versions are or latest tools are important, especially in the finance domain, because though there are many visualization tools like Power BI, like ClickView, like Tableau, Power BI I always consider is powerful because it is integrated with so many MS Office tools. In the idea also, we have a visualization. If you understand the last two, discover, discover insights on the active database. You can create a dashboard, visualize, explore, and visualize the data. If you click discover, it's going to give you a dashboard canvas where you can find different KPIs or charts and so on automatically without me doing any analysis. Check it out here. This is what generally the dashboard we call. How many loan data? There are 4 duplicates are there in the account number. This is something fishy. Loan data, theoretical balance. There are 33 zero items in the theoretical balance. This is very important. Okay, once you just click this, then you can do a couple of changes to that particular data. Now you can just go here. Now this is what the loan data. Outstanding is having 0 values, only 1. Then loan data EMIs, 36 positive values. Then EMIs 2, 36 positive records, EMIs 3, then loan data EMIs 3 positive records. And this is what the count of records by interest rate, and 7 to 7.5, most of the transactions are there with the interest rate of 7 to 7.5, maybe towards the home loan or car loan and so on. If you look here, count of the records by sanction based on the sanction date. If you look into this particular day, there's 76 records in this period of 3 months. 76 accounts sanction was there, especially in this 3 months period. It was peak of 118. Again, it downgraded and so on. If you look into this particular periods, there are no records. There is some analysis scope it is giving to us, and it is interest rate and count versus EMI. Then you can just go to the loan data and count records and so on. If you want, probably you can just keep your cursor. If you want the data, you can just click this. It is giving you in the stratified format. Otherwise, it's going to give you as a dashboard format in the chart format. If you want to see in the grid format like this, otherwise you can just check in the visualization format. Automatically, without you spending any time, you can just go to the save, and it's going to save it as a your idea tool dashboard format. Otherwise, if you just click visualize, a blank canvas it's going to give. You are the one going to give put your visuals on your own. For example, if I want to take a chart type of maybe the line chart, maybe in the line chart you can take the loan data. I want to have a group by the limit, and you can have a sum and so on. Just click the save. I'm just putting here. If at all it's going to give, so you can just select it, whatever the format you are looking for. Do you want 2 items, 3 items, you want to put like this, then a dashboard will come in this format. Okay, so you can just click plus symbol, select the items, automatically you can customize your dashboard. Okay, this is what about introduction to the idea tool, and about 3 different types of sampling. Guys, next sampling part is over. Next week, in fact, today I thought of taking at least 10 to 15 minutes from Shiv Prasad, AnyAudit. Since he's not well, we are not taking that part. With this sampling in audit is over. Next week, I'm going to come with a very interesting topic. Stay tuned, and please subscribe my YouTube channel, The Excelism, and share these sessions to as many people as you can, as it is a free session and very elaborate sessions. Every Thursday, whatever comes in, until unless there is an exception, 100% I try to take on every Thursday without any fail. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.